Hello everybody, I am Santiago Zapata. I am the developer of Ananias Roguelike, and this is the third video update for the Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign. In this update I would like to play a bit in the game and show you the advancements I've made on the new features that will go into the game if the campaign is successful. So let's get into the game. In this version of the game, I have made advancements on the usability part. So right now the user interface is responsive. If you play in a computer, in a desktop platform, you will get a landscape orientation, and if you access on a phone or a tablet device, you'll get a more appropriate portrait orientation. I am right now playing on my computer, that's why you're seeing a landscape orientation, and it looks much better this way. This new version also has the first version of the pet. You can see your pet. It's a cat and it follows you everywhere, and there's the health of the pet. So as you can see, they can be very helpful in battle. Okay, but before we get into the features, I would like to talk a bit about the game itself for those that haven't played it. Ananias is a roguelike game. It means that the goal of the game is to go deep into the dungeon, to go deep every time and get to level 25 of the dungeon and find an ancient artifact. So in order to do that, you will have to transfer the dungeon levels together with weapons, armor, and other items you're gonna need to survive and to battle some enemies. For example, here we are in a room with 3 giant rats. And there's the stairs to go down into the next level of the dungeon. So let's battle those rats. The user interface is designed to be completely playable on smartphone or touchscreen devices, but it can also be played on the computer. In this case, the rats are not so hostile, so sometimes they just flee away, but let's attack them. As you can see, our pet, the cat, is helping us dealing with this rat while we fight this one. We are done with this room. Okay, so there's another of the things that we are going to add into the campaign, which is the randomly generated plot. There are gonna be some characters that will show up randomly in the dungeon. They are generated every time you start a new game, and they have their own story, their own goal, their own personality, and also their appearance is randomly generated. So this is one of those. It's just a sample of what's to come, but you can interact with them. They will give you information, they will give you items in some cases, and you can see them when you go deep into the dungeon. They will show up again and continue with their story. So that's another part that we are developing in this campaign that we need your help to complete. As you can see, the game has a main map area which shows the current room you are into and allows you to interact with the enemies and items. There's a mini-map area in the upper right corner which shows the current dungeon level and allows you to navigate. There's the information window, which in this case, in the first level, shows the helper character, Dancy the Frog. It tells you how to play, but in later levels it shows the current enemy you're fighting or the item you're stepping into. For example, he is telling you here how to pick up items. Finally, we have the indicator, the health indicator, pet health, the current weapon and current armor, and you can also check the inventory using this button to see the items you have picked up. You can interact in the desktop version. Is completely mouse playable. You don't have to use your keyboard. And of course, if you are playing on a smartphone or a tablet, you control everything by tapping into the screen. So the game is basically about managing your resources. For example, in this case, you gotta decide whether you wanna fight these monsters, thus spending your weapon and armor and health just to get this armor, which can be useful on later levels, and that's just what we are going to do. Let's pick up this armor, and in this case, for example, I know this orc is too strong and will kill my pet in one blow, so I will switch places to protect it and attack him. And let's check what he did. Okay, another armor, very useful. And now we head into the dungeon exit. You can see it in the minimap. Yes, let's dive into it. Oh, my pet just died. Bummer. Okay, let's go into the next level. And here you can see another of the improvements that we are going to make if the campaign is successful, and it's adding new levels. So as you go deeper into the dungeon, the appearance of the level changes, as well as the enemies and everything. This is something that we need to draw additional art for. We are also going to include illustration for every time you get to a new kind of level, so that helps immersion into the game. What else can I tell about the game? There are three different kind of items. The weapons, which are used to attack the enemies and get spent every time you use them. The armor, you wear this to protect yourself from the enemy attacks. And finally, the consumable items, which are the potions. You can use them to recover health. And the enchantments that you use, like this one, that you use to recover the usages of a weapon. So the challenge of the game is trying to keep alive while still getting good items to survive on the later levels. I should also note that the enemies in this game, every enemy has a unique feature. For example, the fairies, they recover the health of the enemies inside the room. The jackals, they come in packs, so you also find a lot of them attacking you. The orcs, which protect the treasures, so they are guaranteed to have an item under them. My backpack's full, so let's drop this one just to pick this potion, and let's use the potion to recover some hit points. The enchanters, the illusionist, they paralyze you. And every time you get to a new level, like we are now in dungeon level 3, you can get an power up for your character. You can get more strength or more carry capacity, so you can take more items with you. Okay, our armor is destroyed, so let's use another one. Oh, for example, here we found the character we met on the first floor is here again, and I mean there's some continuity in the every time you meet the character, depending on what has happened with you, it can change the outcome of your conversation. There's nothing here too risky to fight, so we pull back into another room. And let's go into the next level. And that's the way the game continues. We are on level 4 now. We need to get to level 25 or more, and it gets harder every time. So that's what the game is about: surviving, getting cool items, but at the same time not risking, so that your health is kept and your armor is kept, so that you can survive on the later levels and win the game. It's currently a bit challenging, but definitively enjoyable and playable. So that's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you how the game plays. You can currently play this version of the game at the link in the video description or in the Indiegogo campaign page. Please play it, send me your comments, I really appreciate them to make the game better. Please play the game. If you can play in your smartphone, every gameplay session should take about 10 or 15 minutes, and I think you're gonna like it a lot. And finally, if you want, please contribute to the campaign so we can add a lot of things into the game, more new kind of levels, more different pets, the ability of pets to gain new skills and evolve, and continue enhancing the user interface so that is very much playable, and deploy it in a lot of devices, including mobile devices as native apps, and distribution in the application stores. So thank you for watching this video update. Please share it with your friends if you like it, and have a nice day. Bye.